Phrygian Mode, baby. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to Truth Guitar Method. My name is Joel and you can call me Joel, son of Cesar. And yes, my dad's name really is Cesar. So today we're talking about the Phrygian Mode. What is the Phrygian Mode? I have run into a couple of students in the past where they heard this term in some YouTube video because Joe Satriani was using it, or Steve Vai was using it, or some other famous guy was using it, and they think that knowing these modes will make them better players. I'm gonna be quite honest. It's true. They do make you better players because you have an understanding of the fretboard a little bit better. So today we're gonna talk about 3 different ways that you can play it. And if you go to truthguitarmethod.com, you can already download that PDF file, man. Do it. Go, because it's already there waiting for you to download and use with this video. It's completely free. I don't get anything from it. Enough said. Let's get to the very basic understanding of what the Phrygian Mode is. That sounded like a cuss word. Let's do it. Here we go. So we have a major key, a major scale key, any key that you want, okay? And each scale, each major scale has 7 degrees. The first degree, which is the root, the second degree, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, and the 7th. There's no 8th because the 8th is the root again, okay? So in a past video, we talked about the second degree, which is the Dorian mode. Basically, the Phrygian mode is the scale starting on the 3rd degree of whatever major scale you have. I don't know if that makes sense. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick to the C major scale because the C major scale has no accidentals. There's no sharps, there's no flats. It's all straightforward. When we play the C major scale, it sounds very happy, and you can hear it. You might have heard somebody sing do re mi fa sol la ti do. Well, what's going to happen is we're going to start from the 3rd note instead. So that's the 3rd note right here, and that note happens to be E, because in the C major scale you have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So if we're going to do the Phrygian mode of the C major scale, we're going to start on the 3rd degree, which is C, D, E. So we're going to play E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. So you start on E and you end on E. Still the C major scale, except because you're starting at a different point, it's now called the E Phrygian mode. So you have the C major scale, and now we're starting on the 3rd note. That's an E, and now we have the E Phrygian mode. It gives it such a different feeling. Watch. Happy. And then Phrygian mode. A minor sense, like a darkness to it. For sure, one of my favorite scales. One of my favorite modes, E Phrygian mode. If we compare a major scale to a Phrygian mode scale, there's a lot of differences. What you have to remember is that there is a flattened 2nd degree, there's a flattened 3rd degree, there's a flattened 6th degree, and there's also a flattened 7th degree. Now, if you're wondering, what in the world do you mean by flatten? Do I have to tune my guitar down? No. That's not what I mean. Say, for example, you were playing C right here. To flatten the C, you got to move back 1 fret. And now you have a C flat. Now, the name of the note is a C flat. But what I did is I just flattened the first note. If I wanted to flatten that note, I go back 1. If I wanted to flatten that one, I go back 1. So flatten just means to go back, to flatten. I don't know if you understand. Not squish, right? To flatten, to go back. So in a C major scale, everything is natural, everything is beautiful, everything is clean. There's no sharps, there's no flats. But if we flatten the 2nd, the 3rd, the 6th, and the 7th degree, that means 1, 2. If I flatten that 2nd note back 1, now I'm playing instead of Jaws, right? So we're going to flatten the 2nd. Instead of here, we're going to flatten it. We're also going to flatten the 3rd. Now the 3rd on the C major was way out here. And if I flatten the 3rd, that means I'm going to move it here. So now if I flatten the 2nd and the 3rd, instead of doing this, now I'm doing, and that's got that minor ominous feel. A darkness to it. Then 4 is normal. So we had on the C major scale, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, gonna stay the same. 5, gonna stay the same. 6, however, way out here, is gonna get flattened, which means I gotta play it here. So now instead of going, I'm flattening the 2nd, the 3rd, the 6th. But we're not done. Now we also have to flatten the 7th. Now if we play the C major scale again, here's the 7th. So to flatten the 7th, we got to move it back. So now we're on that 3rd fret on the 3rd string. So now we have major, but we got to flatten the 2nd, the 3rd, the 6th, and the 7th. So now we've got very different. If you're trying to convert any major scale, whatever scale you pick, I don't know, B major scale, then when converting it from a major key to a Phrygian mode, you've got to flatten that 2nd note, you have to flatten the 3rd note, you have to flatten the 6th note, and you have to flatten the 7th note. Now, for the examples that I'm going to play in just a little bit, I decided to stick to just the E Phrygian mode based off of the C major scale because it's just a little easier to understand. There's no sharps, there's no flats. Yes, there is flattening, but there is no sharps or flats really. Everything will be in its natural state because it's in C major. So you don't have to worry about all that extra stuff. So when you check out those examples that are coming up, keep that in mind, that you are playing the E Phrygian mode based off of the C major scale. Beats per minute is a great way to start. Is a really good tempo to start at. Now, obviously, those 3 patterns are not the only patterns for the Phrygian mode, but they're a good place to start with no accidentals. It's just the E Phrygian mode. I'll say it again. If you're going to turn any major key into a Phrygian mode, then all you've got to do is
flatten the second, flatten the third, flatten the sixth, and flatten the seventh.
There's a little bit of an easier way to get a Phrygian mode. If you learn your minor scale, any minor scale, if you learn the minor scale really good, then you just got to flatten the second. Because on the minor scale, the third is flat, the sixth is flat, and the 7 is already flat. So if you wanted to turn any minor scale into a Phrygian mode, then all you got to do is flatten the second. And you get, here's an example, A minor, A Phrygian. And there's your darkness. That's it, guys. If you enjoyed this video, help me out, hit a like, and if you think you might benefit from my videos, subscribe. That way you don't miss anything. I do want to share something. I have most recently started a Patreon page because there's a lot of people who have been asking, where they can find more of my stuff that is already free on my website, truthguitarmethod.com. So I just started a Patreon page, and all this stuff is there. And the stuff that you can't get at Truth Guitar Method, you can get at Patreon just by joining and supporting me as the creator. So if you can, go over there. If not, subscribe here, hit a like, and leave a comment. And hey, you know what? If you didn't like it, that's okay. Hit a dislike, but don't go anywhere, man. Tell me how I can improve my lessons. I'll see you guys later. Peace.